Hey pack leaders, this is Hano Friends. I'm protecting families by protecting pack. I want to do a Bitcoin trading update. Today was quite a morning. I got woken up to a bunch of stuff here. So I remember I caught this here and I wrote it down. And just kind of hovering down around this point, but it finally broke down further. I actually got out around this point. I should have stayed, but ended up getting out. And then it went further down. I tried to along it, but ended up I had a short stop loss on it. Ended up getting stopped out right at the bottom, and then got out there. So it does a little irritating sometimes, feeling it, and told myself, like, when I logged in to not touch anything, and somehow I got distracted by whatever, and ended up making a change, which I shouldn't have. So I could have taken a little more profits over here, but did not. So that's one thing. And then I woke up around here, I believe, and then tried shorting it at the, I believe it was like 33.80 level, and was in profit for a little while. Took the profit, stepped my stop was pretty tight, and with profit, like $10 of profit in price. And then that stopped me out. And then eventually I was like, you know what? I tried it again. It didn't work out. And then I was like, I need to switch. As soon as I switched around the 3800 level, 3380 level, it popped all the way up to 3600. And I got a 500% ROE around the time. Then shorted it at around 36 something, 3690, falling all the way down. And then as it climbed back up, ended up getting out again, and I think I should have stayed in my short, so I did not do that. So I noticed that I switched my positions too many times along the way. So there, even though sometimes it did work, there's times where I switched too quickly within a short period of time and ended up shooting myself in the foot when I know I should have stayed in it. So what I can learn here is that if I've set myself in profit and I keep getting stopped out, and I think after my first stop out, I should then switch positions once I, as in getting in with profit, and going the other direction. But if I get stopped out in the negative direction, that was one thing too, where I had placed my stops within a giant wall. It was pretty big, and that blew through the entire thing, stopped me out. Actually, I thought I stopped out properly, but it was too tight. I put $1 before my liquidation price, and ended up being liquidated. So I need to put maybe $2 or $3 ahead of that, so that there's enough to cover the fees, so that I can stop myself out before getting liquidated. And using, I don't know if I want to use less leverage, maybe some days, I don't know, but for that much power, I would have lost more if I didn't use that much. If I used less leverage, because then there would be more for me to have, more to lose, in a sense. So I do like that there's that I have to be more careful about where I place my orders with a tighter margin of error. Okay. Now, just depending on how it goes, I'm kind of glad that it did what it did, and it liquidated me at a high leverage because I didn't have to lose that much. But my position was pretty high too, so that was the other thing. So knowing that, I think once I get to a point where to use that fixed amount and not go over that, so that when it does plow through it, and it does will happen, that I continue to trade the same amount and continue to have a high ROI. So once I also place my order, I set up my stop markets, and what I need to do is also set my limit to be like 25 bucks ahead, so whenever I get that change, I get 100% ROE, and I close it out. So when I do switch, I also need to have limit orders to switch me more often, because I notice when I switch, those fees eat up a lot of the portfolio just by switching. So even short gains with in profit, but post only, so that those fees don't eat it up, and I think you'll probably even gain more just on the fees alone because of just the switching. And then if I do need to get stopped out, I'll get stopped out because of it's getting close to my liquidation price. Okay, and so if I do a stop market, it'll have to be in profit a considerable amount, not too much, but just enough so that I know that it's covering the fees at least, and it's at least $2-3 ahead of what I have. Otherwise, I'll let it go until my stop liquidation price. That means I give it my all, and that's the rules that I'm going to play by. Okay, so I've kind of journaled that and document, put it aside, and that's how I'm going to be trading, so that I don't have to switch it up, change it, switch up, change it. I know my rules are set in place and how I'm going to be trading, so that I can be consistent, and then let the consistency play out, and in terms of percentage wise, more gains, hopefully more gains than there are losses. So far it's been quite interesting. So continue to trade, and I kind of don't care which direction or where it goes, because I was able to wake up with alerts on my phone and be able to follow it, right? I mean, even though it's quick, but I was available. At least all these here is within 1 hour. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, it took like maybe 4 or 5 hours to get to this point. Okay, so it doesn't move. I mean, it moves fast, but there's enough time. There's several 3, 4, or 5 hours here before you actually get to this giant pump. Okay, so at least you'll be able to kind of know where to go and be able to switch accordingly, and be stopped out in profit, for a short period of time, and then switch it. You need to switch it, kind of thing, but switch it while in profit too. So, all right. So hopefully this helped. I think it's kind of helped me to kind of think back and learn from it, and not just be like, oh man, I got nothing out of this. So, yeah, and also. There's some things that I didn't do, like I put my order and I didn't wait the full hour, and I switched it again, and I'm like, what? But and I switched it while in loss. Like I did a market order, and then I was like, oh, I should have done that, and I did another market order just to get out, like within a few seconds later, and I was like, oh, dude, just 0.03 BTCs right there, which is like $150 or something like that, right? So yeah, just on fees. All right, well, thanks. Have a good one. All right.